All right, everybody, welcome. Matthew here again with another episode of MEBPOD. Back at it. Just getting used to this whole thing, getting used to the equipment. Hopefully, in the past week, I've learned a few things about my editing and all that kind of stuff. So, hopefully, I can, when I push this one out, it looks a little better, a little cleaner, sounds a little better. Hopefully, that's the plan. Hopefully, I can keep on track of what I want to actually say. Not that I really want to say anything. It's just, I got to get up here and do it, like I said. My boy Bobby Fairways at Bob Does Sports said his biggest pet peeve is people who start podcasts and stop. It just shows signs of weakness, and I don't want to do that. And I'm not trying to prove Bobby Fairways wrong, but doing this for myself. Bobby Fairways is a big fan of water too. His water game, smart water is the way to go. But so this is episode 8. Hopefully, many more to come. Probably another short episode, but I do want to kind of get back into what I was doing before with the kind of like consistency. I want to stay consistent and do kind of the same episodes, kind of different topics, but still focused around golf. It is golf season still. Now, we just had the Rocket Mortgage Classic up in Detroit, which was a fantastic tournament. Poltgeiger ended up getting the win after the 5th playoff hole, I believe it was. To Birdie, it was his first career win, youngest on tour. He's South African. Very neat to see someone new win. Regardless of who won that playoff, it would have definitely been a newcomer, except for Chris Kirk. He actually got eliminated in about the 3rd hole. End of the day, great finish. Excited to get see some more tournaments this summer. But like I said, I'm already getting off of the beaten path. So what I want to do, I know I started my first couple podcasts with the whole birdie and double bogey thing, where like their double bogey is something good, bad that not so much bad, but just something not positive, that happened throughout the week, and then the birdie that happened, something good. That's going to be kind of the beginning of each episode. And then, of course, I'll dive into a little bit of other sports-related things. Hopefully bring on a guest to make this much easier. So if there's anyone out there listening that wants to be a guest, direct message me or whatever you want. We'll try to set up a Zoom or whatever it might be if it's not in person. If you're not down in the southern Florida area, Miami. If you are, we can get this done in person. That would be neat too. But you could be the first guest on MEBPOD. And then I want to continue with that, kind of more or less dive into sports back and forth between me and the guest, or with me having a solo episode, I'll kind of just give you my takes on what's going on in the sports world. And then from there, I'll kind of go on to what I plan on doing for the week ahead. And also life, not life goals, but like what's kind of coming up in the next months, just in my future and everything, so I'll kind of dive into it, I guess, maybe. We'll see. So I'll start with my birdie. I did officially edit. My birdie and my double bogey kind of go hand in hand. My birdie is I did officially somewhat edit a round of golf, and I posted it onto my YouTube. So if anyone had seen it, it is up there. I've got the tracers on there, which is neat. I've got a few of my putts. I've got, I'm working on with the camera angles, which I think I'm getting better at. I am recording on an iPhone at the moment, looking into getting a camera, which would be really neat to have. I do eventually want to implement putting my cart cam into the video as well, so kind of go back and forth from me playing to the cart cam with whoever's in the cart with me, whether it's me driving solo or with a partner or whatever it might be, because I kind of want to get that Brian Bros, Bob Does Sports, foreplay, good, those kind of vibes where they have the in-cart cam and the banter with the back and forth between everyone. So if there's any golfers out there that want to be a part of this, I'm willing to do the somewhat recording and editing at the beginning. It's not going to come out perfect, but I would like the help to have like the back and forth banter. So if there's any golfers out there that want to kind of get involved in this, just shoot me a direct message. I'll put it on the post it on the YouTube and tag you, and because I could always use the help, and I'm not sure you might need it too. So, so with my birdie being said, I actually got a video up posted. It's not perfect. I shot horribly because I was worried about what were the camera angles and everything. I learned that now. What I see on YouTube golf all the time about the producers always saying don't walk in the line. What that actually means, because if you walk right in front of the camera, it kind of screws with the tracer. So now I know to stay out of the tracers, which is a good thing. I know that the camera angles, I know that because I shot this all in vertical on my phone. So now that I know if I shoot it in landscape mode, I can shrink it down to where I could still post it on both Instagram, TikTok, et cetera, as opposed to having it vertically on YouTube. I can actually get it, a wide frame, which I guess is more pleasing to the eye, I guess. So that's one thing I did learn. So I've learned a couple of things about it. The tedious part about it is probably the tracers and kind of the going back and forth with that. Actually, probably not even the tracers. Tracers are very easy. It's the staying organized on Premiere Pro or any editing software, I'm sure. Transferring everything from my computer to Premiere Pro to kind of find where everything's at from hole one, shot 2, shot 3, shot 4, whatever, et cetera. I got to figure out how to stay more organized and keep it into one. I know you can keep it into one folder and then keep your effects into one folder and your sound into one folder. But to me, it's all scattered, and it took me a while to figure it out, find everything, but I, eventually figured it out somewhat. So more or less, that's kind of my birdie, my hole-in-one of the week. It was fantastic to figure out finally kind of somewhat how to use the Adobe Premiere Pro software. I'm getting not great, but so much better at it, which I'm very pleased with. Water, so good. So back at it, I do have a bogey of the week or whatever, something not so great that happened. Kind of have to do with the editing too. Editing is very tedious. It's very complicated. Lots of time. I'm sure the better I get time, it'll shrink up a little bit. It won't be as long. And the fact that the matter is, it's like, it's very time consuming at the moment. I couldn't get it done perfectly. Cameras, there's just a lot of things that I need to learn. So, it's not so much a negative thing, but it's, I know I got to learn, or I don't have to learn, but I would like to learn, and I'm ambitious to learn. So it's just that little time consuming kind of I already got back into it with my birdie, where just like losing track of everything and where everything went. I also, am excited to pursue and keep going. So that's kind of more or less my negative thing. That's not so bad. It could be a lot worse. But it is the 4th of July coming up. I'm going to move on. So that means we're in the midst of baseball season. No more football, or hockey or basketball. There have been a lot of trades in the basketball world. Kevin Durant had moved from Phoenix to Houston. So that was a big trade. Michael Porter Jr., I believe, just went today from Denver to Brooklyn. That was pretty nice. Old Missouri alum headed up to New York. It's pretty neat. Should be pretty. I think it's actually benefits the Nuggets a little more with Cam Johnson going over there. I think Denver will definitely be a little more defensively sound, to say the least. Michael Porter Jr. just coming off that surgery. You don't really know exactly where he's going to be at. He can shoot the ball, but we'll see for how Denver works. LeBron, there's lots of rumors out there that he might be trying to leave Los Angeles. which would be a wild turn of events. In the basketball world, I guess really that's it. There's a lot going on in baseball, which is, my second, I guess you could say, passion when it comes to sports. It actually probably was my number one when it comes to sports until I really got into the game of golf, more or less, which really kind of YouTube kind of sparked that. Baseball, obviously, St. Louis Cardinal fan, originally from St. Louis. So when I talk baseball, it probably will be centralized around St. Louis Cardinals, obviously in the NL Central. Obviously, I'll probably dip into some other things that maybe there's like the All-Star game coming up, and we'll talk a little All-Star game. There's the, obviously there's the playoff races towards the end and whatever. But, you've got St. Louis really in a tight division here with the Chicago Cubs, the Brewers, and the Reds are all kind of tightly knit in the Central. The Pirates are a little down there, but right now the Pirates are absolutely dominating the Cardinals, which are I think it's 7-0 right now, unfortunately. But it's baseball; it's what happens. So you've got Ohtani back pitching. You've got him hitting bombs still. You got the big dumper up in Seattle, hitting absolute moonshots for the Seattle Mariners. Cal Raleigh, he is, having an absolute breakout season when it comes to the bat. He just signed up to hit in the home run derby, which kind of brings me to my next point. Big Dumper plays in Seattle, and I will be visiting Seattle in September. Chambers Bay, Seahawks, 49ers, and Cardinals, Mariners. Golf and baseball, and golf, baseball, football. And I'm sure I'll do a lot of sightseeing up there. I'd like to go visit Mount Rainier National Park. I'll probably be doing go see the public market. Might even hit up the Boeing museum or whatever it is up there. Probably get a cup of coffee from Starbucks just because, I like to do the touristy stuff. So if anyone out there knows or is from the Seattle area, any of my subscribers or followers, hit me up, DM me, do what you got to do. If you want to meet up and play around golf, go to the games, whatever you want. I'd like to, meet up with some fans, some say you may call it. This is just kind of trying to hit up, a round of golf in all 50 states in Washington. It's going to be one beautiful journey to one little state. It's going to be an absolute beautiful trip up there to Seattle. I've never been up in the Pacific Northwest, number one. Never been to Lumen Field, which is the Seahawks. Never been to Seattle Mariners game up there. So I'll be able to check off at least like 2 different stadiums and one of the most beautiful golf courses, Chambers Bay, that's hosted, U.S. Opens and all sorts of fun and exciting golf tournaments over the years, which really looking forward to that. Looking forward to that. That'll be a really good trip, really nice, fun trip. I'll probably be up there for 5 days. I think I'm going to try to fly out on the 6th, head back down on the 10th or so. It should be an interesting, nice cross-country flight, nice long one. Haven't decided if I want to use ship sticks or not or something along those things to get my clubs out there because I will be having connections. I've heard so many horror stories of all people's clubs getting lost. Or broken on the plane. Every time I fly in with my clubs, I get a little worried. And now that I've got a somewhat of a newer set, I don't want anything kind of messing with those. But anyways, that'll be my eighth state for golf, to cross all 50 states off. So really looking forward to that one. We are also going to continue with a little bit of, I guess we have a little bit of football news. Aaron Rodgers signed with the Steelers. And then the Dolphins, the good old Miami Dolphins down here, traded Jalen Ramsey up to the tight end for Minika Fitzpatrick, who actually was drafted by Miami down here in 2018. So, that'll be a interesting NFL season. I believe this training camp starts here in a couple weeks, which that'll be fun. I'm looking forward to that. We also have Since there really wasn't much going on in sports, and it's hard to talk by myself about it. I'm going to kind of dive into each episode. I'm going to do a top 5. This week it's going to be one thing. Next week it'll be another, so on and so forth every week. And obviously, when there is guests, it won't be top 5. It'll be like, I'm sure a lot of you have seen it on other podcasts and other YouTube channels where they'll go back and forth with their top 5s, their drafts per se. So those will be a lot easier when you're solo because you won't get anyone taking. You won't be able to let anyone take your picks. So with this week's top 5, I'm going to do the my top 5 YouTube golf channels. And we'll start with 5 down to 1, and then we might even do an honorable mention just because there are so many YouTube golf channels in other categories that I might do. So with my top 5 YouTube golf channels, I'm going to start off with the Bryan Bros. Very, very fun. They seem to... they're 2 brothers out of South Carolina. Both played college golf. Wesley Bryan played on the PGA Tour. Recently suspended via playing in the Duels Live event, which to me is absolutely ridiculous. This Live and PGA thing just needs to merge and get it over with. The guy was out there having a good time with his buddies, all the YouTubers and all the guys from the Live Tour. It's not like he was taking anything away from his time dedicated to the PGA Tour. Jay Monahan kind of screwed him over on that one, and then Jay Monahan will be gone here in the next couple of years. So anyways, back to the Bryan Bros. They're very family-oriented, focused, very, very nice guys. I actually got to meet them both down here at the Live event here in Trump Doral, Miami when I went. That was a really kind of fun experience. Probably most of these guys on the list I will have met over there just because they were kind of all part of that Trump Doral Duels event, which they're now doing. They did one in Virginia. They did one in Dallas. They'll be doing one in Chicago too, I think. And I think Phil Mickelson's going to be hosting that one on his channel. And with that being said, Phil Mickelson, I'm not going to consider the guys on tour as YouTube golfers like a Bryson or a Phil or anything like that, or the Live Tour, whatever tour you want professional. I know Wesley Bryan is a professional golfer, but he does it with his brother as a YouTube channel. But anyways, at number 4, I'm going to go with Good. Now, Good, I've kind of steered more away from it for whatever reason. I know why, because I found other channels and got more stuck with them. Good is very good. I really enjoy it. You've got Garrett Clark, who kind of started the whole thing to an extent, doing trick shots in Kansas City at his house with Matt Scharf. You've got Steve. You've got Bubba, who's actually probably my favorite guy in the Good crew, just because he's got a really neat backstory and how he became who he is today. If you don't know, you can kind of, I'm sure, find it on the internet somewhere. Definitely a cool little comeback story, and I like to see those kinds of things. You've got Brad and Sean, who are probably professional golfers, Korn Ferry Tour at least. They definitely are. They're all very good except for Bubba and Steve, and Scharf is on the line, but Garrett Dalkey and Sean Walsh are very, very good. So they kind of got me really more or less into the game of golf, not into the game of golf, but into the YouTube golf world. Started watching these kids, and they're doing all these fun little trick shots and everything, and blah, 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 whatever, and it was really neat to see it, whatever. So I started watching them. I got some of their hats and their apparel. They've got some really nice golf pants out there. They are a very family-friendly channel as well, which is kind of why I'm putting them at number 4. At number 3, I'm going with your golden boy, Grant Horvat. The guy is just another standout all-around, true to himself and his family and friends kind of guy. He collabs with all the other creators that live PGA Tour, kind of everyone, because he's just so likable. They call him the golden boy because he is like the founder of YouTube golf, kind of him, Rick Shields, those kind of guys. The guy, again, I met him at Live Miami. Got a picture with him. I'll post it here on the video here right above. It was, I'll post all the pictures with these guys when I'm doing it. But these guys, Grant Horvat, he's just seems like a really unbelievable guy. When you get him together with, well, you'll find out my number one. Yeah, he's just another standout guy. He's a good golfer. He's played in some Korn Ferry events, played in the duels, won the Creator Classic with that putt on the 17th hole at Sawgrass. Just an unbelievable guy, fun, outgoing, and, just probably my number 3 favorite channel. At number 2, I'm going to put foreplay. I know I might get a lot of hate for that. People do not like the foreplay guys because either they're not good or they're cocky or just because it's financially backed by Dave Portnoy and all the controversy that maybe Barstool might have. But I love them. I think they're probably the most relatable. They're not the greatest